Okay. Hola, mi gente. Greetings. ¿Cómo estamos? How are we? It's me, your girl, Che Alexander, La negratienesazon of SprinkledSazon Apothecary and Botanica. How are you? Hello, Gemini. Gemini, how do you do? We are still sitting in your opposite sign of Sagittarius. Do you see what I did there? Do you like what I've done with the place? I told you that I would be switching up my setups and ting and ting and ting. And so as things come together, ting-a-ling-a-ling, I hope that you just bear with me and, make note of the changes. I'm trying to spruce up the place for you all. There's going to be a couple of more things, and I'm trying this landscape. This is landscape, right? Trying this. We're going to see how this goes. I don't know how I feel about it, but all the girls are doing it. So, yeah, welcome to it. Welcome to my channel. I pray that you are well, as always, Gemini. I pray that you are sitting in the cradle, the crevice, the nest of the Creator, and that you are feeling loved on and doted on and supported and appreciated and acknowledged and seen. And I pray that you have all the things to make your life feel livable at this time. Life is chaotic. Things are crazy. Shit is in crisis. The planet is in crisis. Do you hear me? The cosmos, what is this that we're in? Not the Milky Way, but the galaxy that we are in is in fucking shambles. Do you hear me? It is in turmoil. Do you hear me? Okay, I've been warning you for how long now about the astrology of 2025 being life-changing, being just pivotal, right, in all the ways. And the end of 2024 is promising to usher in all of that with no remorse, no holds barred, no type of qualms, no decorum whatsoever. 2025 is like itching, scratching, bussing at the door, trying to really get through and say it's time to make these changes. And 2024 is doing its best to hold off. One more Game of Thrones reference, I promise it's the last one. But it's on some hold on shit, right? It's like 2024 is like, all right, 2025, I know the change is coming. Let them get their bearings. And 2025 is knocking on the door like, no, the change, the shifts, the things have to move. So, Gemini, we're here to talk about the full moon in your sign. It's the final full moon of the 2024 calendar year, which is a little bit interesting for me because this is the first time we've had one of these moons in a while. We usually close the year out with a Cancer full moon in the sign of Capricorn. But this year, because it's a leap year, we are ending the year with a full cold moon in your sign, Gemini, which we know is ruled by Mercury, who has been sitting in your opposite sign, your sister sign, Sagittarius, and running backwards, going retrograde. So that retrograde, that marathon finishes this Sunday on the same day as your full moon. So how lovely, how wonderful. And usually that would be a really delectable, delightful treat just before the holiday season, officially starts to dwindle down. And with all this other kind of chaotic, intensive astrology, Mercury going direct, and the final full moon of the year would sound like such a good idea. It sounds so wonderful, except because this is the last full moon of the year, there's a lot of responsibility, a lot of weight that comes with this full moon. It's like, oh, it's the final full moon to say your last goodbyes, to cuss people out, to new year, new me, change your phone number, da. And it's too much pressure. It feels like too much pressure on this full moon, especially also because Mercury is going direct on the same day. Remember that there's a shadow period. There's a shadow period during the beginning of a retrograde and the end. So we're not quite in the clear. Also, what's important to note is that this full moon in Gemini is sitting square the sun and Neptune. Now, Neptune just went direct in its home sign of Pisces last week. So Neptune is still getting its bearings too, still coming back to the reality that some delusions will have to fade away, that some things are not going to work out in your favor. Taking off the rose-colored glasses once again, which we know that is not Neptune's favorite thing to do. Now it's sitting square the sun. It's sitting with this sun squaring the full moon. So this weekend does not feel like a good time to express yourself to the max even if you may have wanted to. Also keeping in mind this very, very, very violent and treacherous and confrontational Mars retrograde in Leo. Bitch, I never wanted so bad for Scotty to beam me up, okay? And throw hands with a planet. Now, Saturn be on my ass. But the way that Mars came in, okay? True to its name and true to the game as the god of war. Bitch, I thought Mercury had hands. It was Mars all along. All along. So the way that I want to be zoomed up, beamed up, so I can actually fight the planet, I don't even want to talk about it. So if you're anything like me and you've been going through that, you may be feeling like, all right, I was waiting for Mercury to go direct. I was waiting for this full moon so I could really say what I had to say. But pump your brakes, Gemini. This is not the time. I'm sorry. I'm a huge advocate. I have a Gemini stellium. I'm a huge advocate for speaking your mind, telling the truth and what needs to be said. But I'm warning you that right now, you must be careful with your words, at least into New Year's. Gemini is going to welcome the sign of Uranus, the planet of Uranus, in July, around July 7th. Right? And Uranus will go backwards back into Taurus, but then it will settle into Gemini closer to 2026. And then it stays there for about 6 or 7 years, right? So when this transit happens, you will undoubtedly be inspired to communicate your wishes differently, your conflicts with people differently. But until that happens, Gemini, this is not the time for you to truly express yourself. Mercury is your governing planet. We know that you are expressive by nature. However, I want you to think very critically about the last 6 years in particular. Okay. And think about when Uranus has been transiting through Taurus, whooping my ass. What have you learned about the way that you speak to people, how people speak to you, how they receive you? This is all kinds of communication. Are people often misunderstanding your emails? So you need to double back and you have pages long threads of emails when it could have been a phone call, right? Do you find yourself circling back and telling the same stories over and over again, or people hashing out the same things with you? There is something repetitive in your communication style, or a pattern in your communication style, Gemini, that may not have been working for you, that Uranus is going to shake up, which is why I'm warning you now, while all of these transits are happening in and around your sign and in your sister sign, your opposite sign of Sagittarius. This fire energy that has been emblazoned, that Sagittarius season welcomed, that kind of revved up, has been a hotbed for ideas for you, Gemini. Again, to think critically, to think intensively about the ways in which you are piecing together your community and your network. But I want you to slow down on all action. Okay. As I sat here to prepare for your reading, I just literally, Sagittarius is sitting here, again, your sister sign. And I just keep feeling this nonstop rush, this anxiety, this quickened pace of like trying to get through the day, trying to get through task lists, trying to get things done before the year is over. And I do see you burning yourself out, Gemini. Your air element has you flighty and flying all over the place. And I see racing thoughts, and that's not helpful for anyone. It doesn't get anything done quicker. It just makes you feel more stressed out, more guilty about it. Yeah. And the other thing is, I said this in my Energy Cast video last week on IG, but I'm going to mention it here as well. Because of the Mars retrograde in Leo, again, a very fiery, very feisty, very spicy transit. I was not prepared, bitch. I thought I knew better. One thing to keep in mind is accelerated heartbeats, heart palpitations, issues with circulation and blood flow, tingling and numbness in the phalanges and the extremities. Again, quickened heartbeats and like anxiety or an inability to arrange thoughts. This is especially important for you, Gemini, because you are ruled by Mercury. Mercury's retrograde, and all of the fire energy that your sister sign has brought forward, okay? I'm gonna get into your reading now. Y'all know how this goes. This is a general for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, 10th house, Lilith, Chiron. And what else is important to highlight now? I don't know, especially Gemini and Sag moons. Hold on, my cards fell. I think and hope and pray that's all of them. Yeah, I think so. Okay. So, as always, I want to thank everyone who has been here supporting me. Thank you to everyone who has booked the year ahead reading. That service will end on January 31st, 2025. So if you have not booked your year ahead reading, please do so before the calendar fills up. And baby, it is filling up. I am busy with these readings, and I'm grateful. Early bird is closed, but we can work out a payment plan if you need to. And then, of course, my calendar is open for all the services that I do. Link and description will be in the box below. So let's get into it. Spirit, holy angels, gracias a la misericordia de todos los espíritus santos y todos los espíritus buenos. Please share your information with me. Share the messages that the Gemini collective needs to know at this time under the light of this full moon in Gemini. We ask that only spirits of light continue to engage and enter into the space, and that spirits of darkness remove themselves and find their light elsewhere. Thank you, Spirit. We appreciate your guidance. What does Gemini need to know? Have the Nine of Cups with the Six Wands, King of Swords in reverse, and the Two Cups. Now, these cards do read a little bit differently than regular tarot, but I got you. Don't worry. Ooh. Okay. All right, very nice. I love that for you, Gemini. 9 Cups with 6 Wands here. King Swords with 2 Cups. The King is in reverse. El Rey de las Espadas. 5 Cups in reverse, and the Ace of Cups. Copas. And the Ace and the 2 of Wands. Okay. Clarify this king. Who or what is this king for Gemini, Spirit? It's the law. 6 Pentacles. Okay. And these cups here, clarify. The 5 and the 6 and the Ace. 3 Wands. Okay. All right, Gemini. So I don't know who needs to hear this. It's general. Take what's yours. But for some of you, there is definitely some litigation, some lawsuit, some paperwork, subpoena, eviction notice, divorce papers, child support, custody agreements. Something, yeah, once again, something with the law that's coming to the light for you this weekend. I need to get my nails done, honey. Yes, I do. Coming to the light this weekend for you under the light of this full moon in Gemini. I mentioned to you that this full moon is square the sun and Neptune that has just gone direct. So that means that fog has been lifted, illusions have been lifted. Anything that was hiding from you, any truth, any lack of clarity that may have been hiding during that Neptune retrograde in Pisces is coming to the light. It's only been a week, but that Neptune transit was conjunct the Venus transit in Aquarius. It also happened the same day or the day after the Mars retrograde transit. So Neptune is still getting its bearings, and it's also a very slow moving planet anyway. It takes its time, and it's in its home sign of Pisces. So these revelations are coming slowly but surely. And so excuse me, one of those truths coming to light for you, Gemini, is some type of information around this litigation. So if you don't get the actual final judgment, like if you're not waiting for Lord, whatever side of this you're on, right? Some information is coming to you. So if you're waiting to hear about a sentence, or you're waiting, you know, for the date for the trial, the date to get sentenced, you should hear that by Monday, by Wednesday, really. And if nothing has happened, well, maybe you'll find out that you have a warrant out, or maybe they will come to you and let you know that you have a court date. So whatever part of this you're in, the beginning, the middle, or the end, information is coming to you. Specifically, I'm hearing from a court, from a lawyer, from an attorney, some type of litigation, but it also could just be messages coming through about something that you lack clarity on. Now, here's the thing about this message. They're saying that the communication is going to come in fast for you, right? And it may be shocking with this 9 and this 6. It feels like I really didn't see that coming. So it may blindside you. However, no matter what it is, Spirit is saying that better is coming. There is better on the other side of this. You have this ace and this 2 of wands that come out together. So there is something new or fresh starting here. Now, it may feel, again, you've been blindsided by this information, so it may feel like you're being robbed or something is taken away from you or you don't have a chance to get your bearings. But Spirit is saying to have faith and believe that it will work out for you in the end. So God forbid you get an eviction notice on your door this weekend. Spirit is saying that this is a place that you were trying to leave for the longest anyway. Your next apartment is going to be bigger, more space, brighter, bigger windows, better, no vermin, not next to the garbage, better neighbors, in a better area. The commute is going to be easier, whatever it is. But the bad side is there's an eviction on your record, right? On your credit report. They are saying, okay, your husband came out the clear blue sky and served you divorce papers. You didn't see it coming. You had no idea. Once you sign those papers and free yourself of that bondage, of that slavery, the love of your life, who is truly your match, who's truly real deal your match, is going to come into your life. They may be the damn lawyer that helps you to get the most out of the agreement. And you also find a new lover in the process, right? Spirit is saying, hold on, have the faith. What is your advice for Gemini moving forward? What can they do to ease this information? Look, alliance, conjunction, form alliances at this time. Very, very strong for you to form alliances with fire signs at this time, and other air signs as well, Gemini. Leo, fire sign, shine, shine. Gemini, your sign, cross-pollinate. Again, making friends across the board. Lateral connections. 5th house, passion. 5th house is ruled by whom? Gemini, Cancer, Leo. Leo's the 5th house. Boom, more fire signs, more fire energy. And give me one more. Virgo, digest. This is your sister sign in Mercury. Right? Virgo's also ruled by Mercury. So I'm going to say, if you have to say anything, if you feel like you have to vent, you have to share good news, Venus, beloved, good news. If you feel like you have to share good news, or, you know, you want to be in good community, find yourself in the company of Gemini or Virgo, who are Mercury's children, like yourself. Fire energy, which is your sister energy as an air sign, right? So Sag, who's your sister sign, Leo or Aries. These are the alliances you need to form as you are learning this information about whatever litigation or messages come to light, as you are planning. If there are frustrations, like I mentioned earlier, you know, you're ready to speak your mind because these transits are taking place and you want to speak your truth. Consult with these signs, these energies. These are going to be your allies, your friends, while the temperature continues to increase in the astrological cosmos. And then around New Year's, I think is a better time for you to start sharing your plans with people, to start putting things in motion and putting people in position. But right now, what Spirit is asking that you do is gather all the information, wait for information to come in, wait for the messages to come in, and use whatever strategies that you have been concocting in your mind to develop a plan and look around you and identify, label your allies. And then after the new year, you can start to once again put them in place. But right now is not the time to speak as much or necessarily do too much either for you, Gemini. Right now, the time is to observe, which is something that you do really, really well. This is how you gather so much of the information that you have. So it's time for you to continue to rock back, observe, watch who's around you, watch their nature, right? How do they respond naturally to crisis, to new information, etc. And then to also keep the lines of communication open. So make sure your internet is running well so that you can receive these messages. Make sure that your intercom bells work so you can get the packages or the courier who is coming with the message, because they're saying quickly, quickly. You may be receiving some news that you've been waiting on, hoping for, or something completely out the blue that is going to benefit you in a beautiful way, but just unexpectedly. And it may be maybe a tragic kind of thing. You know, maybe your father dies, but you get an amazing inheritance, and so there's a bittersweetness to this. But there is some favorable news and some favorable outcome coming toward you this Gemini full moon. So I love you, gems. I love you, twins. I pray that that was helpful for someone. If it was, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Congratulations to Tatiana C, who was my 100th subscriber, so she has gotten herself a free reading. But when I make it to 200 subscribers, someone else, someone new will get a free reading, a free offering of some kind. It may be a candle, maybe a mediumship reading. I don't know. I might get spicy with it. But every time that I gain 100 new followers, I will randomly scroll through all the followers here and pick one person. So please tell a friend to tell a friend. Have them join the community. You can get some goodies. And I hope to see you in one of my spaces soon. I love you. I love you. I love you. Happy full moon, Gemini. Peace.